There we go. I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Today's stream topic is about somber success. We shared a little bit in the previous stream how sometimes you can do things successfully and still feel sad, still feel somber, still feel that sense of uh, uh, and today was one of those days for me. I got some work done, and then after I got some work done, I applied for a job. I typed up my CV. I recorded a 2-minute video of me talking to the camera, basically talking about me wanting to work for this place, right? And I'm feeling you wondering, where is this place? It's The Joint. It's The Joint. The Joint recently posted that they're looking for a butt tender. I do not know if it's going to be the main The Joint or if it's going to be the third place that they're opening. But they are looking to open a third place right now. And it might be that I'm going to be helping at the third place. So it might not be the same The Joint as what we're used to, but I don't know if that's an important point. I think the important point is the fact that despite having successfully shown up today, having successfully done the things that I wanted to get done, right? Last night I sent a message to Annika asking her about this position that they posted and whether or not they have found someone for the position yet. And she told me no, and that I need to send my CV and my 2-minute video. And upon doing so, finding myself on the other side right now, I am in two worlds. One world is the world of hope, of success, right? And the other world is the world of worry and sadness, somberness, this experience of, yes, this success, yes, this potential, but this potential, this success, this drive is literally coming from the opposite energy, right? The lack of love, the feeling of not being appreciated, feeling of not being cared for, the feeling of not being seen, valued as a human being, as someone who adds value by their presence in a space instead of trying to tell them that their presence in a space is removing value from the total that is. And I'm happy for the most part that I am unwilling to let these things stop me from growing, because there was a part of me that, like, and I said it, I think 2 days ago, right? I was crying a little bit and I used the words, I am a shell of myself right now. And I haven't articulated it in that way up until that point. And articulating it in that moment made me even more sad in hindsight. Because it's true. It's true. I have to be only this rapper, right? This thing. This is all I can be. I can be this thing that looks like something, right? But I can't be what I am underneath, right? The fullness that has made me who I am, who has given me the capacity to have conversations that people might consider interesting. I'm not allowed to be that. And I cannot stand it. I thought I would. I thought I could. I thought myself strong enough to be fine with it for a while. Fine with it for just long enough, right? Like last year, we lost like $5,000 worth of stuff to theft. And I was like, holy shit. I spent the last 4 years acquiring some things, and then in a single year, all of the things I acquired get stolen. And it was pretty devastating. But I still felt more successful during that time. And I'm saying like it's that long ago. I felt more successful during that time than I felt not losing anything to theft, for example, here back home, right? I feel I've lost so much self confidence, so much self pride, so much self admiration, if you will, as well, right? Since coming back home, that it's like like I undid a bunch of the work I had to do in loving myself, right? And to say it in words that might be a little bit more pungent, I'm back to the part of me that is capable of self harm. Let's say, just say it in so many words, right? And I thought I would never. And the fact that I can think about it again, I feel is absolutely unacceptable, right? Nobody deserves to feel that way. And I will not let myself feel that way. I think the joint is a good place to make connections. Things will go well. Have the strength to show up with your heart. You seem very happy talking to people at the joint. I am. That's why I'm like there's absolutely zero somber when it comes to thinking about what the future looks like, right? For us. Not just for me, but for us. Like the future is gonna be beautiful no matter what. No matter what we do. I think the part that I'm sombering about is the fact that I've been convinced. Let's say convinced, because that makes it a little bit more of I can be unconvinced maybe later. But I've been convinced that I cannot be here, right? I've been convinced that I cannot share success with my dad. I cannot share anything with my dad, never mind success. Can't share the same room with him for longer than 30 minutes. And that's the thing that makes me somber, bro. Hi, Melt. What is somber success? So, Nancy, in so many words, I think somber success is when you are successful, but you're sad because of the circumstances that forced you to be, right? For instance, the version of me that is successful with the help of his family, with the support of his family, with the admiration of his family, I think is envious, or I am envious towards that version of me. But this version of me feels like I have to be successful almost to make a point. I have to be successful almost aggressively. Like I have to be successful to survive, to be okay. And if I'm not successful, then I won't be. And that makes me feel somber, right? I know that that success is achievable, but it makes me feel somber that that is how it's supposed to be now. Look at this creature. Posed so strangely. I have felt similar moving back with my parents, feelings of my soul retreating. I'm trying to view it as a recuperating cocoon. I think that's a good perspective to hold, dear Connor. I think it is a matter of the message we kind of reiterate in our minds right now. You know, and I don't even try. I'm good at maintaining. I'm good at maintaining a narrative in my mind of upliftment, of self fulfillment, of hope for tomorrow, of hope for what I'm capable of the things that I can do, of the help that I can receive, right? Like that. That's the kind of like narrative that I try and have running in my head. And since I got here, I haven't been as good at holding on to that narrative, right? The narrative has shifted towards anger, towards injustice, towards this feeling of, I want to use the words righteous indignation. Is that right? Hey, Google, define righteous indignation. Is anger driven by contempt. Yeah, yeah. Righteous indignation. We are angry because we are disgusted at something we perceive to be morally incorrect. Because we bring our sense of morality to our indignation, we can claim it is an acceptable form of anger. Yeah. I don't want to feel righteous indignation, right? I don't want to be given the stimuli, the perspective, the experience that makes me feel that way. And you're like, oh, what made you feel righteously indignatious? Words are hard, okay? One of them was being told, that it's not free for me to be here, right? Like one, like I don't know that, and two, why would you say that? Why would you ever say something like that? So yeah, no, I feel you. I do feel you. I can feel leaving the bar. I have been called to leave many times, but realize it is an opportunity to exercise my ability to find peace in pain. Not to sit in it, but to understand the pain, to move on from it. I admire your strength, Connor. I am I am too close to the darkness, you know, I feel in this experience. Feeling something is morally wrong, right? Feels morally wrong for me to be here. It feels morally wrong to put who I am and what I am in a place that hates me, right? It might not hate me literally, but at least that's the way it feels, right? Like I haven't even told someone that I hate that them being somewhere is costing us something, right? Like that wouldn't even be something I would say to someone I hate, because that's how low of a statement that is. As soon as you try and like drag someone's value into a monetary sense, you have lost. You have lost all respect. You have lost all credibility. You have lost all value in your argument. And like that's one thing that I don't know how to move on from. It's maybe a dumb question. No, please ask away, Mojo. But why do you allow your dad's inability to see you as you see yourself to crush your spirit? His view of reality is distorted. Because, Mojo, uh, my dad doesn't just see me in a distorted way, right? He sees our entire family in that distorted way. He sees the world in that distorted way, right? The world, in his direct words, is broken. The world is evil. He is a sinner that has gotten salvation, right? And because he has admitted to his sinful nature, it's it's what he is, right? And this is maybe me trying to simplify the complexities of why people religion, but from my perspective, from my lens, he is exponentially more concerned with what the church congregation thinks about him than what his own family thinks about him, right? He'll say things to his direct kin that he wouldn't even want to have repeated in front of his church kin, right? Like he will literally fight with my mom. He literally about her saying the things that he said to her to other people, right? And it is this matter of I love him, Mojo. It kind of sucks to say it, but I do love him. He's my dad. And seeing him live this way, seeing him have the relationship that he's had with my mom, seeing the relationship that I've had with him, right? Seeing how the relationship he has with my siblings is just slowly but surely falling apart, degrading piece by piece by piece, to the point where none of us speak to him, right? The only dialogue that is had is in voicing dissatisfaction at this point, right? Dissatisfaction of life and circumstance and perspective again. And I see it like again, I think it's even our responsibility as the sons to fathers to try and save our dads from the belly of the beast. Right? It's what we're here to do as well. It's like one of our responsibilities. And it crushes my spirit that I can't. Mojo. I don't think it's a stupid question at all. I think it helps me to try and answer it too. Crushes my spirit because I can't. Right? And I think I can do anything. I believe I can do anything. But I can't do that. And every single time I realize that I can't, it fucks with me so much. It breaks my spirit. Because if I can't even help my own dad, how can I help anyone? I know that's not the way it is, I admit, but that's sometimes the way your mind reasons. Seems to me you were giving him power over you. Wouldn't be surprised if that's what he wants. I know, maybe you're right, Mojo. I feel the righteous indignation. Yeah. Melt, it sounds like you're ready to bounce out of there. I am, Nancy. I don't know if you missed that little piece of context, but today I applied for a job. I properly applied for a job. I sent my CV and a 2-minute video of me talking about why I believe I'm a good fit for this position. And I know, I want to say, with a knowing, I know I'm going to get the job. I know it. Because I am literally the perfect fit for that position. And when I do, and if I can, I trust I will, then I'll have the means to move. I don't know what my salary will be. That will have to be discussed as well. But yeah, I'll have to have more money to not be here anymore, to bounce again. And I guess that's also a part of the suck, right? Is that I'll be put in a position where I'll have to struggle again, right? Struggle in one way or another, right? Instead of feeling supported by my own family, by my own father, my mom, just give some context on this. My mom has been an absolute bastion of support this whole time. Me and mom have been bolstering each other and supporting one another. But my mom is not the property owner. My mom is not the one paying the bills, right? So my mom doesn't have a say in that fractal, right? My mom doesn't get to uh, say it's okay that I get to eat food, right? That's my dad's say, right? He's the one who bought the food, so he's the one who gets to say something about it. And like I cannot believe that that is how it needs to be. But at the same time, I heard this take recently that goes, you cannot grow if you are comfortable. and I haven't been comfortable for like a single second coming back home. And the fact that that discomfort only a month later has now given me the motivation to apply for a job and type out a CV again, and etc. etc. At least to me means that I am on the right path. Right, I will not be stopped by this experience. You talk about your dad, feels like hearing a recording of myself not too long ago. It is primarily in your dad's hands. We are all living this life for the first time, even our parents. I don't know if that's true, Connor. I'll just say that if it's our first time living this life. But I am willing to acknowledge that my dad needs to learn. Stop that! Stop that! Yes. Like, I really do love the dogs, but I don't know if I'm going to miss them. It feels evil saying that as well. But like Pippi has been so aggressive, right? Hey, hey, Happy New Year, Melita. It's nice seeing you here with us. Like, there's a new baby dog here, and Pippi has just been so mean to the baby dog, right? To the point where it has changed my perception of her, right? Like, imagine you have a best friend and you really love that friend, and then you go to a restaurant with your friend, and they're an absolute, add your add your words here, to the waiter, right? To the point where you cannot look at this person the same. You're like, how can you talk to another person like that? How can you be like this to another entity? And like Pippi has been like that to this baby dog, to the point where I'm like, wow, that's not that's not cool. And like that whole barking thing, she was just barking at the little baby outdoors, right? Juliet, Nobbit's wife, uh, people that are doing some part-time work here on the farm right now, has a little baby, like a little baby girl. I mean, she's not that baby. She's like 1 year old. Pretty baby, right? I think she can walk by herself. I don't know how old the child is. I'm sorry. And then, like, if that child makes sounds or moves, these dogs will lose their minds and start barking at her, right? And then I lose my mind. Like, why are you doing that? Stop! You're like interrupting my peace. And they interrupt my peace a lot with their excessive barking at things. Right? Like, we heard excessive barking multiple times just in this stream. Now imagine living with them. Right? Like, there's so many fractals as of late that has been arising of like discomfort. Yeah, we did talk about a little bit about that directly. Getting encouraged, getting encouraged by discomfort. Bless you again, meow Lita, and happy New Year again. Too. Super lovins to you. Oh no 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 no. This particular live, many lives before, of course. Yeah. Guess there is no community property there. Usually, when people are married, it's community property. Yeah, I think my mom might have some community property, like in any verband van troue, right? Like, me and mom actually had this is a conversation yesterday where we were talking about this place because of this circumstance, right? We had the conversation about my dad telling me to leave. Like, he literally told me to leave yesterday. Uh, and then, having the conversation about this place and, you know, the deed or whatever. And then my mom lets me know that the deed of this place states that if he dies, ownership is transferred to her. And then if she dies, ownership is transferred to us children. But if she remarries, she has no ownership. Like, she loses all ownership. Right? And the reverse of the clause isn't so, right? Like if he remarries, it's still his farm. But if my mom remarries, she loses access to it. All right. So like it's stuff like this, like so many layers, stuff you find out, stuff that's been brewing underneath that just causes so much tension. I don't know how to I don't know how to change it. I've been trying. You friends have been watching me like beat my head against this metaphorical wall, right? Like we started our streams in this space and we moved to different places a few times. We've been different places at like Christian's place for a while, for example. And then last year was the first year we properly moved out again. And like, holy shit. Even though we had like a hectic experience living in that place, I was still baseline happier than I have found myself in the last month. And I think it's appalling. It's like literally like I cannot believe that. How's that even real? Hmm. It's in the glass of muddy water flowing into another. That is generational trauma. We all grow in our space the best we can with what we have. Life is such a turbulent river, but peaceful eddies exist. I do like that, Connor. That is ridiculous. I don't know if you heard some of the context, Lita, but today's stream topic is about somber success. And the somber success has been the fact that I've been getting a bunch of things done today. I got like some work done today. And I also sent my CV in. I also made a 2-minute video to talk about why I would be a good fit for the position that I applied for. I applied for the position of being a bud tender. Instead of serving people liquor, I will serve them flowers. And I feel, even though I will have to be in the service world and I will not have the freedom to do with my time as I wish for as long as I stay employed, I trust that this employment will at least allow me to afford a place to live, and that means I won't have to live here, which feels very hopeful. All right, like yay! Oh, thank goodness, I can go somewhere else, right? Because I can't without a job right now. Like over the last 4 years, like I remember when I just started the Patreon. Like they used to have goals on the Patreon, and I set as a goal like $500. Like $500 is about like cost of living here in South Africa, and saying something about how ridiculous the word cost of living is. And I mean, over the last 3 years, you friends probably know better than me as well. The economy hasn't really gotten that much better, especially not when it comes to our goods and services and the prices we pay for them, for rent, for fuel, for food. $500 isn't enough, and we still are not making 500 consistently, right? So it's yeah, like hopefully we can get paid like another $300 or whatever, 300 $400 for this job. that's that's what I'm expecting. I don't know if there's going to be more than that, but that is kind of what I'm expecting. The Patreon, like be, I think, okay enough to like be able to afford, like at least the apartment. taking breaths taking breaths. All right. Props for the job allocation, though. That's great. Yeah, it feels good. Like, I feel good about it. Even like that part, I do feel good about. It turned out well. It's almost like I've spent the last thousands of days getting comfortable in front of a camera. I look like I'm fine in front of a camera. It's kind of okay, and it is. It is kind of okay. It is kind of okay. It's so ridiculous. Maybe I spent the last 4 years live streaming so that I can get this job. This specific job is the one that I needed, right? I didn't need any other job. This is the job that I needed. This is one that I'm getting right now. Stay strong, Meld. Know that your heart is good. Sending you all the goodness that I can. I can feel your goodness, dear Connor. Sending that goodness right back. Thank you for holding me. I really, really dislike, talking about these things because it is painful, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you friends have been through similar things. Might not be with your dad, might be with an abusive partner, might be with a friend, might be with a sibling, might be with a colleague, might be with a boss or a subordinate. I don't know, right? But feeling unvalued by someone or them communicating that in one way or another, it is something that weighs heavy on our hearts. And I hope, at the very least, that in me sharing these things, sharing everything with you friends, that I'll bring hope that change is possible. We are very powerful beings, even more so with help, feeling your hearts. Thank you for all of the help that you've brought into my life, dear friends. I thank you for joining me again. I'm going to probably. Oh, my bottle just got bumped over. It fell on the plastic. Great success. Yeah, this lighting is trash. Suddenly, yes. Superior geluchten. Gebeluchten. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me again. We will not settle for less. Mm-mm. No, we won't. We will embrace our futures. Well, yeah. We will show up for love. Mm. Yes, we will. We will find people that will show up for us. Mm. And in finding these people that are willing to show up for us the way we're willing to show up for them, we'll bolster each other, we'll support one another, we'll uplift each other in ways that we would not have even thought possible. And as we uplift one another, our arms will get so strong, we'll get so bow jacket that we will be hot, even super aesthetically pleasing. Maybe not physically, but in our mental imaginations and our capacity to see with loving eyes, right? Realizing that if all of us look through loving eyes, suddenly everything is beautiful, right? I appreciate your beautiful eyes, and I'll see them again soon. Tomorrow. Goodbye, friends. Cheers.